Welcome to this second recording on setting up templates in Microsoft Word for a study report. In the previous one, we had used some of the template reports in here, one of them anyway, to create this template in Word, as you recall, where we had our table of contents. This would be our title page, and you fashion that after the template. And then this is the table of contents, and we showed how to make it navigable and things like that, in case you hadn't seen it or didn't see it in a while. We had ended the last one where I just got to this Excel document and was going to copy and paste, but we'll leave it for a moment. What I want to do before that is, since we're on the title page, is to insert a header. Let me first get one of my, where is it here? Not that. Sorry, I'll get a template out here. Methods validation. That isn't the one that I want. This is one because it's got a header and a footer. So we'll use that as our example to create our headers and footers. So insert a header, and we'll choose one with a line. Let's do this. So we'll type in validation report. Combine, I'm just putting in the same thing. OQPQ. Right? And then here, the date. That's just the template, the name of the document, I guess, there. And I'll just put in today's date. Okay, and then get all the way to the end, hit enter, and go home, and center. And then we put in our reference standard operating procedure, and this would be the number that you would put on the line there. I'm not sure why that's not. That's kind of an odd thing, isn't it? Anyway, we'll just leave it. You can leave it for you to play with it. Might just want to leave this where you do text in there, but that's the way to get a header in there. So that header would look similar to what we have here. We ended up with the red color in there and things, but let you choose that. So that now is going to show up on every single page to the entire document. There's a way to suppress headers and footers on different pages, but that's not a big deal. And now insert a footer. And for this one, I'm just going to do the text, and you'll see why in just a moment here. Because all we're going to do is create a line and then type these underneath it. So over here where it says type the text, I'm just going to type, I want to do underscore. So shift underscore. And we filled that. We hit enter and it makes it a solid line. And then type in prepared by, and then date, and another tab, revision number, hit enter. Now I'm going to go back to home up here and do the right margin justification button. And we want to insert the page number and in our current position, and we want to come over here and scroll down, and we'll see page X of Y, and that's what we want, and we are done. So that gives us our header and footer to match what's in our template. Now let's go back and pretend we're at the results part here, and we would have table 1. This would be a table that would be our standard curve in this case. I'll have to do that so I can select copy on it. And our numbers would be in here, of course, and it would generate the readings on the graph, but I'll let you worry about that. So Control C is going to copy that so I can insert a table. Let me just get to a new page here. Insert a table. All right, so this would be table 1. Having some problems here. Table E1 colon calibration table. I am hitting all the wrong buttons today. Okay, so that's a table. Let me. Oh, well, it's behaving like a table. Let me get outside of that table. You might also have a line down here that would be some information about the table. Asterisk equals. Well, that's interesting. What did it do with my... I don't want that as a bullet. Asterisk equals maximum value or whatever, right? Or might say units of milligram per ml. So there may be something like that you need to note about within the table. So we might have numbers in here, maybe an asterisk next to one of the numbers or something, or up here concentrations, we'd have the asterisk there, and then this would be something like a legend. Okay, now the way that I'm going to demonstrate how to put the graph in here, and let's go to a new page for that, assuming there would be some text around the table. I'm going to insert a text box, and just a simple text box. Come into Excel and click on the graph. I'm going to do Control-C to copy it, or I could just go copy there. Back to Word. I'm in my text box. I'm going to do Control. No, I don't want to do a Control-V. I want to come here under Paste and paste it as a picture. Okay? So we can make this a bit bigger if we want. And get a bigger graph in there. So you can set your sizes however you want, whatever you feel is needed or is appropriate. I'm going to make my text box a little bit longer. Come in here and get my residuals graph. And do the same thing. Where are you? Okay, what is this thing doing to me? Sorry about that. I want to get my cursor there and hit it. I better hit it a couple times, give myself some soft lines. I keep calling them soft lines. Hard returns. Hard lines. Okay, now we can paste picture again. And here we have, I'll have to adjust it so it's the same size. I can now bring my text box back in. So that's going to hold those two together no matter what happens to this. And then we can put our legend in here. Blah, 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 right? And if need be, we can adjust it so it just fits to the text of the legend. Now this text box can be formatted. I selected the outside, the text box, and you can format the shape. So you can have no fill, you can have a line color, no line. Right? I'm going to leave a line on it, but you may end up removing the line. When you remove the line, you can make the text box bigger. Then you can have your text fill the whole page for your legend. And then if you don't want these to be so big, you can center them within your text box. So I'm clicking on each one, and then the center up above. Right? And then your legend can look like it's just, and then if you get rid of the line, it just looks like the figures are there with the legend, but they always stay together. You can also click on this if you are going to make it just a single column. In this type of report, it wouldn't be so important, but then we can do a format and we can wrap the text, we can position it. If you want to force it to the top, any one of these, wherever it may be, to force it there. You may force it to the center of the top of this page, that type of a thing, or if you're going to have it in line with the text, square, all these different ways of doing it. So this is another way. It gets a little tricky sometimes of how these move around and trying to get them fixed, a few things like that. But once you figure it out, it's a good way to do it, to have a couple of graphs like this, especially our linear curve. in this case, we're doing the assay validation. So this would be our standard curve and the residuals, right? So we'd be reporting our standard curve to show that we have linearity in our assay. And then some text of the report. Then whatever you would want to call this, these are the copying the table of the results, and I will just paste that, come in as a table, right? And so this is table 2. Table 2, application of the unknowns, or the sample results. Right. This may be, as you'll go through the rest of the template, some of the readings on the validations. So a practical approach to the bioassay, and come through. You can see that there's several things that you would be including. I'm going to scroll down rather quickly. Sorry for doing that. That shows you, for example, some of these techniques where it's an ELISA. You would have to include the accuracy, linearity, range, limit of quantitation, specificity, repeatability, and precision. So you may actually be pulling in data like this several times, trying to generate. In this class, we try to generate the data that would be required for these types of purposes. So this one is it's critical reading, actually, for you to know things, but they have a few other useful features in here, like this flow chart. The type of test, if it's just identification, you have to validate based upon specificity. For impurities, if it's quantitative, or if it's a limit of detection, or an assay, which is what I'm expecting for this class, then accuracy, precision, specificity, linearity, and range have to be included. But this goes on to tell you what all those are, and takes you through a few stages. So it's as I said, critical reading. So I'm going to stop the recording there. I think that's sufficient to show you how to generate your table in the templates. If you recall, when we ran the loop of this, it dumped to a Word document. And so if you open that Word document with the results of your ANOVA, you could copy from there and paste into this report if that was essential for your assay validation. Of course, in the final report, hopefully you would have an experiment, a virtual experiment that would have been designed as a one-way or two-way, and you would have that type of result in there. Once you've got your result completed, as I had demonstrated, you save it as a PDF. Bang, and then when you're logged in here as a student, you click on this assignment and browse your computer to get that PDF, upload it, and then click submit. Or if you're not quite done with it yet and you got any files that you're attaching here and stuff to hang on to, you can save as a draft and then complete it and submit later. So I'm going to hit cancel and say goodbye for now.